Time for another board game review. This time we have the game YINSH. This was sent to me by Rio Grande Games, and it is designed by Perm. It's part of the GIPF project, which is a series of abstract games. I haven't played them, so I don't know how you pronounce GIPF. But anyway, just by looking at the box, it looks very much like a kind of Go or I haven't played Othello, but you know, it looks like Othello, and there are elements that are similar to Othello from what I know. But it's a brand new sort of that style of game, that sort of abstract strategic game. For me, it is reminiscent of something like Gomoku, which is like 5 stones. You you use Go pieces, but try to get 5 in a row. Some elements of checkers, some elements of I haven't played Othello, but I know in Othello you flip over your opponent's pieces, and that's a big component of this game. But it's really easy to learn and really easy to pick up and play. We sat down and learned it super quick. Let me show you how to play. So YINSH is played on this grid board, and the only pieces that come with the game are these black and white tablets, or pieces. You also get these rings. So one of you is black and one of you is white, and the main game pieces are these rings. And in the beginning, you place the rings on the board. Now the goal of the game is to make lines of 5. If you make a line of 5, you get to take a ring, one of your rings off the board, and whoever gets 3 rings first is the winner. So here's how you play. If I'm white, I take one of these pieces and I put it within the disc if I'm gonna move this ring. And then I have to decide, do I want to go this way or this way? It doesn't matter which way you go as long as you go on the lines. Let's say I'll go over here. Hello, Sophie. Sophie wants to play YINSH too. So you set your colored tablet inside the disc, move it, you can slide it along, and that's your move. Now let's say there were some more pieces on the board. Here, here, here. Okay? Now sliding is one way to go if there are no markers in the path of your ring. But let's say there are some markers in the path of your ring. Let's say I'm black and I'm going to move this ring here. I set a marker of my color inside the ring. I pick it up, and let's say I want to go this way. What I do is I slide it. I can jump over these rings, and all of the rings I jump over flip over. So rings always have to move in a straight line and always to a vacant space. They can jump over markers, but as soon as it's jumped over one marker or more, it has to stop. Another key component of the game is that rings cannot jump over other rings. And that's it. That's how you play the game. If you know that much, then you know how to play. So let's say I'm gonna do white. I'm gonna move this ring. I'll put a white marker in here. And I'm gonna slide it over here and flip this over. If I was this black ring, I can put a marker in here, jump over these guys, and bam, flip them over. So as you see, each move you put one of your markers on the board, and you have the potential to flip other pieces to make sure to get more black sides or white sides facing up. The more pieces that I get on the board, the more fascinating the game becomes, because you go, okay, well, if I do this over here and flip these, that might help me, but then that will give my opponent the ability to make 5 in the next turn. So you're constantly watching the board, seeing where all the pieces lay, how you can get your rows filled while not helping your opponent. Let's say there were 4 here and I put down my 5 and slid my guy over here and flipped this. Ta-da! Now I have a row of 5. What happens then is I take these 5 pieces off the board and I get to choose one of my rings to score with. Let's say I choose this one. Now, this is important because even though I have 1 ring ahead of my opponent, I now have less rings to work with on the board. And while whoever removes 3 rings first wins, if you remove rings maybe too quickly, you might potentially screw yourself because you have less rings to do stuff with. So in some situations, it might even be advantageous to let your opponent take the first ring so that you have more rings and you can do more stuff. It's an extremely elegant game. I love the design of it. You learn the rules and you're off and playing in a very short amount of time. Now, if you watched all that and were like, that seems like a weird game to wrap your head around, I was kind of the same way. I felt I was intimidated. I was like, that sounds funky. Is that gonna be like too complicated? But it's a really elegantly designed game. You play a couple games, and they're short games too, to its credit, and you really it starts to click. You start to get like, okay, like if I slide here, this will happen, and if I play something here, you'll start to recognize patterns, and it's really satisfying. The components are very nice. They're this nice plastic and they just feel nice and just, oh man. Because you could very easily make this game with just shitty, cheap components, but these feel nice, and they look classy. And like I said before, because you can't jump over opponents' rings, it gives you that checkers sort of feel where you're blocking your opponent from jumping in certain spots. They might try to be going for a specific row to flip over, but because your ring is here on your next move, haha, you blocked them. That's very satisfying. As a kid, I loved Gomoku. I loved 5 Stone. Playing that 5 in a row game on using a Go board was easily one of my favorite games as a kid, and this gives me that feeling with more complexity. You play one game and you're immediately like, let's play again, let's play again, let's play again. So if you want something that gives you a nice 2-player strategic experience, kind of like a chessy sort of Gomoku, Othello-y, checkers kind of game, but you want something brand new, and you want something that's quick to play and really satisfying, you should really check out YINSH. It is good stuff. Yeah.